I think when you look at it for them, it's a big victory. They keep themselves in contention to win the division, which they'll probably win going away. But at least they put Washington even further behind them now. Washington has to go to Las Vegas and play the Raiders. If they had lost this football game and Washington goes to Vegas and win that game, now all of a sudden things start to get really, really tight. And now they got a little more breathing room. Now they can relax and say to themselves, okay, we got some time off now. Now we can regroup. Our coaching staffs can come back and we can get back into the fold of things the right way.
Max, you know how we talk about Stephen Curry as a great ticket to get in basketball? I mean, last night watching CD Lamb, I'm like, yo, I'm paying to go watch you. I mean, it was like NBA Jams what he did to Malcolm Jenkins.
Yeah.
it was stupid. I never seen broke his ankles in that way. And then Michael Gallup with
Basketball
the way
move.
Michael Gallup, the way he caught that TD pass, dragged his feet in the corner of the end zone. I mean, it's just special. Amari Cooper back, that receiving core.
But, man, one team just didn't have the horses, and the other team did.
Yeah,
the Cowboys had the horses.
When you don't have your horses, you're gonna lose football games. But I think that's a good sign for the Dallas Cowboys is when they do get the staff back and they have all their players, this is the team that you're going to see that you saw for 5 straight weeks in the National Football League prior to running into the Denver Broncos.
Isn't that weird? The Cowboys, with all the hoopla before the season started and early in the year, there's a good chance that by the end of the season, they kind of limp into the playoffs or they make it by a game or two, and they're the team no one wants to play once the playoffs start because they get healthy, they get right, they get clicking. How could the Cowboys be the kind of scrappy underdog team in the playoffs? That would be hilarious after all the press for like the first half of this season. But it could happen.
But in all honesty, if you really watch football and you watch the Dallas Cowboys, the games that they did lose outside of the Tampa Bay game on opening night, which they took them down to the wire, they could have won that game very easily. The Denver Bronco game, they was looking ahead for whatever weird, strange reason it was that they just took Denver as a light team.
Every team gets one of those.
Them.
Every team gets one of those a year.
But when you look at the other losses, you could say to yourself, I could see where they made some mistakes at. I could see where they got to correct some stuff. And if they do that, then they're going to be one of the harder teams to beat in the NFC. And clearly last night you could see if one side of the ball isn't playing that great at sometimes, the other side can pick them up. And that's what a team is all about.
I think that's one of the things, out of all the things, I know we have fun with it every single week about Key's rankings, though. Because
they might be number one the next week.
The season is a series of ebbs and flows, man. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes fans or talking heads put so much credence into, well, this team has looked great from the beginning to the end, and that doesn't mean that they're going to win it just because they've looked good. Like sometimes dealing with adversity helps your team grow for those moments when you have to deal with adversity when you get to the playoffs, and it makes you better experience because you have the poise in dealing with that.
Yeah, I wasn't really impressed with the Cowboys last night just because I thought they were playing a team that didn't have anything. And then even Taysom Hill hurts his finger early, and it's like he's not a starting quarterback on a Super Bowl team type guy. He's a guy who can fill in for a couple of games. Then he hurts his finger early. No offensive line, which is why they play him instead of Simeon. Bad finger, no star wideout, no running back, etc. All the things we said.
Well, they play him not because of the offensive line. They play him because he's better than Trevor Siemian. Just flat out better than Trevor.
But the reporting was because of the injuries, they wanted a guy who could move around.
I can understand that that's what people think. He's better than Trevor Siemian.
But wait, Max, so you don't take any positives away from how the defense played last night to close out the game, considering the offense that we've seen be one of the most high-octane offenses has not clicked yet?
Max is a New York Giants fan.
Right.
I mean, so am I, but I can be realistic about it.
He will never, ever be realistic about a situation that's right in front of his eyes. Just the reality.
There's some truth to that.
That's why I didn't even say anything. I didn't want to counter his point. I just left it alone because I already know.
There's some wisdom there, but I will say this.
There's some wisdom there.
I will say this. No, what I will say about the Cowboys is not that I was so impressed with, is that they are a very talented team. And when they're healthy, you have to deal with the talent on that team. I don't think they played exceptionally well, but they got their guys back, and that was the first game they were back.
See, the things that you're looking at is way different than somebody like me or Dan or Swagoo or football people, coaches, whatever. We're looking at something totally different than you. You toss sweep to Pollard is perfection. Everybody gets blocked. It's like bowling down the lane. Everybody gets knocked down.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.